Malaysian very taboo to talk about sex workers.
How do we talk about sex? I think sex work is a form of work.
Sex work. Sex work is seen negative.
Prostitution is not a crime.
They want to buy
It's a
something.
taboo topic.
Public people are going
Sex
to sex
illegal.
Is this related to sex work?
We use it as a taboo.
Us, most of us are doing sex work.
Kuala Lumpur is the capital city of Malaysia, where the hustle and bustle brings in an average income of 90,000 ringgit Malaysia per capita in the past 5 years. Along the bustle, there are many activities that go unnoticed, and disclosure is minimal.
My name is Rose. I am a single mother with 4 children, 8 grandchildren. When I was 20 years old, I get married. After that, the man was a drug addict. I separated with him and took my children away from him because I want my children to study properly and I want to take care of them very well.
Having to raise 4 children on her own, Rose sought for financial help from a friend who offered her a job in the quiet and remote part of Chowkit.
She took me to one brothel. The customers will come, they will take one by one to the room and they will earn money from there.
Prostitution by itself is not a crime in Malaysia.
A person, if she offers sex for another person in return of money, that in itself is not a crime. However, the rates are against brothels and pimping, basically people who have hired women to offer sex for money. That itself is illegal.
If a raid's going on, that is a risk. They cannot find money and cannot go to clinic because they thinking is money is important for them.
The issues of sex work is invisible and neglected. That is also partly because of the criminalization of sex work in Malaysia. Criminalization definitely has a big problem in terms of like invisibilizing issues, invisibilizing people, and marginalizing communities as well. There's a sense of like, you can do anything to people and then you can get away with it.
Sometimes the customer won't pay, I'll take the mop stick. I say, you better pay, you already see my body, so you have to pay.
Some of the sex workers who will be raped, they go and lodge a police report, they never agree. Because you are sex workers, how you can be raped?
You tidur dengan orang, kenapa lu orang tak ada jaga you punya barang sendiri? Macam tu lah. You orang suka-suka kongkek-kongkek. Tengok orang dah ambil pun tak tahulah. They think people enjoy lah. The girls are enjoying themselves lah.
Why do people become sex workers? People don't sell their bodies just because they like it. Do people wake up in the morning and then decide, oh, okay, I'm going to become a sex worker today, though? Or after 10 years of looking for a job, they say, look, I can't find a job, but I have to feed a child.
For transgender people specifically, because of the discrimination in the employment sector, so, a lot of trans people also end up in sex work.
In other parts of the world, different legal systems are enforced to cope with the issues in the sex industry. France and India have legalized sex work, but operating a brothel is illegal. Belgium and Germany, on the other hand, legalize sex work and regulate brothels.
Mostly they won't wear condom. I ask them to wear, they don't want. They say it's not very nice.
They don't know how to protect themselves. They don't practice the safe sex. So, and this person bring back the disease to the partners at home. And it's go back to the society.
Some men are very stupid. They go enter, they will press us, they will pinch us, they spank us.
Sex work must be decriminalized. These legal barriers must be removed so that sex workers feel safe in the environment that they work, and they're also able to access, fundamental rights and also access redress if there are violations, just like in any workplace.
The situation is vastly different in a country where sex work is legalized. In Singapore, sex industry is being regulated by a legal system, permitting the sex workers to have a safe and secured working environment.
I'm Shei. I'm a Muslim, I'm a transgender, I'm an activist, and I'm 27 years old this year. After the epidemic of the increase of HIV and AIDS in Singapore, and then the increase of sex workers around, so in order to control them, the government proposes licensing system called Yellow Card. It's where only female person based on the identity card is allowed to work in a licensed brothel.
What Singapore did was that they did not officially legalize the prostitution, but they do know that it happens, and the government sort of restricted to certain areas of the country.
Their clients mostly know that they have to pay the exact amount that's being stated, and then there's no compromisation of unprotected sex, because they know if they want to engage with a licensed sex workers, the main rule is that to use condom. There's no way you can negotiate with it. Because being a licensed sex worker, every month you have to go for HIV and STI testing.
Sex work is deemed negative and a taboo in Malaysia. To counter this and usher Malaysia into more progressive times, the issue of sex work must be addressed.
So there's definitely pros to legalizing sex work. They know that what they do is not illegal. They are more open to reaching out for people if they need any assistance, to know that I have been beaten or I've been extorted during these sex services.
Once it's considered part of a job, then the law of the country will protect you.
But the counter-argument to legalizing it is that then we will be officially saying that it is okay to use your body in exchange of money. Some would say that it is definitely okay anyway, because we should have a choice over our own body. What we want to do with it, we should be allowed to do so. And in fact, that is women empowerment in a sense.
My personal value system that this is not something that we should do. If you want to look for money, then we should actually go use other ways than selling our own body. I believe that sex work is exploitation of men's and women's body.
Now, of course, society will think, oh, how can you do that? How can you do this? It's immoral, it's against the religion. but nobody is helping the person. They all comment, but nobody says you get some training, you find another job, try to acquire skills.
What is known is only the tip of the iceberg, but the bigger problems of the industry need disclosure. However, are Malaysians acknowledging the issue of sex work or turning a blind eye?
To regulate an issue is to basically saying that you accept an issue. Many Malaysians also do not accept that as a solution. Basically, they want it to totally be eliminated, which I think is practically impossible.
Malaysians are not going to accept sex as part of work, sex work as work. Religion really abhors such a thing, according to some people. But I think in the long run, there might be a different way of looking at it, where they say, okay, this is also another form of work.
The religious hat, even though we are wearing the white coat, okay, it's the dilemma among the doctors. So because we have bad perspective about sex workers, like, okay, they're selling their body is a bad thing, it also influences the way we treat them. So that makes them feel insulted.
We cannot talk about sex just in the context of like violence and pornography, or like, you know, how it's disgusting or whatever. We must also talk about sex in a way that it's of pleasure. It is with agency. You know, you do it because I want to have sex, and I'm going to go seek sex in a safe, comfortable and way that, you know, I want to have it.
The outside people, they think the sex workers are very cheap and very low type of people. But please do not think about that. I want people to respect me some more.
Because why? Say, why your body you want to do it as a sex worker? Why you cannot work other works or not? Why you against of that? Because they have their choice and their rights. Why you want to stop that? Who are we want to judge them?
What is right and what is wrong is very relative. So society has got its own perceptions. Society has got its own value systems, and society has got a belief system. And based on the value system, belief system, they point the finger and say, this is wrong. But can you say providing food for the child is wrong?
We want ultimately to say that everyone, regardless of your sexual orientation or your identity, you're able to get good jobs, and basically people are not forced into doing prostitution. But until we arrive at that destination, meanwhile, what we can do best is to make whoever that are forced into prostitution to have a better working environment, to have a better protection. And therefore, I think to openly allowing prostitution and regulating it, it's the best way to do it.
Because there's a lot of discrimination and stigma and prejudice against sex workers.
They need money and they do as a work. We cannot say as a criminalized. They give service, they get money.
Sex work is illegal, but it happens.
The question that I want to ask is really, even if we outlaw it, it's still going to happen.
Imagine you going to work and constantly feeling that you're at risk of getting arrested.
My dreams all I dig a ground and bury it in, because I want to live for my children.